Hello there, and welcome to the show. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about the US-Canadian border. It's just there, right? A sprawling testament to peaceful coexistence and shared fondness for oversized novelty checks. But what if I told you that this seemingly benign border is actually a financial sieve, and 7 US states are pouring millions, if not billions of dollars straight into the welcoming pockets of our neighbors to the north? It's true. You see, while America's busy being, well, America, Canada's quietly become this haven of cheaper goods, affordable healthcare, and surprisingly decent skiing. So naturally, residents of border states are hopping across, wallets at the ready, to take advantage, but we're talking about a steady drain on state economies, impacting everything from tourism to healthcare, manufacturing to agriculture. And today, we're diving deep into this surprisingly contentious border battle to understand how 7 US states are losing the economic tug-of-war with Canada, one loonie at a time. Let's start with the Empire State itself, shall we? New York, a state that practically vibrates with economic energy, is losing a surprising amount of cash to its polite northern neighbor. See, Canadians are lovely people, truly, but they have this adorable habit of, well, expecting their government to actually do things like, provide affordable health care and regulate prescription drug prices. The result? A glorious maple syrup-scented loophole for savvy New Yorkers. Why pay exorbitant prices for medication when you can just pop over the border and get it for a fraction of the cost? It's like a real-life pharmacy treasure hunt, except the treasure is your hard-earned money not going to some pharmaceutical overlord. And it's not just healthcare. We're talking cheaper groceries, gasoline that doesn't require a second mortgage, and let's not forget about those Canadian smokes. It's enough to make you want to trade in your I&Y shirt for a honk if you love poutine bumper sticker. But here's the kicker, the real gut punch for New York tourism. Canadians love visiting New York, don't get me wrong, but an increasing number of New Yorkers are choosing to spend their vacation dollars on the other side of the border. Canadian ski resorts, with their charmingly accented instructors and surprisingly steep slopes, are becoming increasingly popular. The point is, New York, with all its economic might, is facing a slow but steady drain of revenue to Canada, and it all boils down to one simple fact. Sometimes, being polite and offering cheaper goods is its own form of economic warfare. Next up, we head to the great state of Michigan, a place synonymous with American automotive manufacturing. But hold on to your steering wheels, folks, because Michigan's economic engine is sputtering, and you guessed it, Canada's got its maple syrup-covered hands under the hood. You see, while Detroit's been busy trying to reinvent itself, Canada's been quietly, politely, building a reputation for producing high-quality cars at competitive prices. And when it comes to luring auto manufacturing plants across the border, well, let's just say Canada's got a few more incentives up its sleeve than a plate of Timbits. We're talking lower operating costs, a highly skilled workforce, and a government that actually seems to understand the importance of supporting its manufacturing sector. It's enough to make you wonder if the American dream car is now being built in, dare I say it, Windsor. But it's not just the auto industry feeling the pinch. Remember those cheaper prescription drugs we talked about in New York? Yeah, that's a problem in Michigan too. And it's not just a few people popping over the border for a quick refill. We're talking organized bus trips, folks. Senior citizens loading up on buses like they're headed to a casino, except instead of slot machines, they're hitting up Canadian pharmacies for affordable medication. It's a sad state of affairs when your grandparents have to organize a cross-border pharmaceutical expedition just to afford their heart medication. The point is, Michigan's economic woes run deeper than just the auto industry. Canada's lower cost of living, its healthcare system, and its government's willingness to invest in its own people are proving to be a powerful magnet, pulling jobs, money, and even senior citizens across the border. Now let's mosey on over to the Pacific Northwest, shall we? Washington State, home to grunge music, artisanal coffee, and a surprisingly robust trade relationship with Canada. But don't let those charmingly plaid-clad Canadians fool you. They're not just here for the craft breweries and indie bookstores. They're here for pretty much everything else that's cheaper. You see, Washington's proximity to Vancouver, a city that makes Seattle look like a bargain bin by comparison, has created a unique economic ecosystem. Canadians, bless their frugal little hearts, are flocking south for everything from cheaper groceries and gasoline to electronics and home goods. It's like Black Friday every weekend, Except instead of elbowing your way through crowds of sleep-deprived shoppers, you're dodging politely apologetic Canadians. And it's not just the everyday essentials. Washington's tourism industry is also feeling the pinch. Canadian skiers, drawn by the allure of cheaper lift tickets and poutine that doesn't cost a week's wages, are increasingly choosing to hit the slopes north of the border. And don't even get me started on the cruise industry. The result? Washington businesses are left wondering where all the customers went, while Canadian businesses are busy installing bigger cash registers. Ah, Vermont, the land of picturesque villages, maple syrup so good it should be illegal, and a burgeoning case of economic envy? That's right, folks, even this idyllic New England state isn't immune to the siren song of Canada's affordable charms. You see, Vermont's tourism industry, the lifeblood of its economy, is facing some stiff competition from its northern neighbor. Canadian ski resorts, with their shorter lift lines and cheaper prices, are luring away skiers and snowboarders, leaving Vermont's slopes feeling a little emptier than a Ben & Jerry's factory after a particularly successful free cone day. And it's not just winter sports. Summer tourism is taking a hit too. Canadians, eager to escape the tyranny of their brief but glorious summers, are flocking to Vermont's lakes and mountains, only to realize that, hey, things are pretty darn nice back home, and a lot more affordable. The result? Vermont's businesses are feeling the pinch, and even the cows seem to be mooing a little less enthusiastically these days. Next, we head to the heartland of America, to the great state of Ohio, where the cornfields stretch as far as the eye can see, and the people are known for their Midwestern charm. But beneath that friendly facade, there's a growing sense of unease, a feeling that their northern neighbor is, well, outmaneuvering them on the economic chessboard. You see, Ohio's manufacturing sector, once a mighty engine of American industry, is facing stiff competition from Canadian companies. Lower operating costs, a highly skilled workforce, and a government that seems to understand the importance of supporting its manufacturing base have all contributed to Canada's rise as a manufacturing powerhouse. And it's not just the big-ticket items. Even Ohio's agricultural sector is feeling the heat. The result? Ohio's economy is facing a double whammy, with both its manufacturing and agricultural sectors feeling the squeeze from Canadian competition. Let's shift our attention to the Keystone State, shall we? Pennsylvania, a state steeped in history, home to the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, and a growing sense of economic anxiety. That's right, folks, even the birthplace of American democracy isn't immune to the allure of Canada's affordable charms. You see, Pennsylvania's agricultural sector, a vital part of its economy, is facing stiff competition from its northern neighbor. Canadian farmers, with their vast tracts of fertile land and their government's unwavering support, are exporting everything from wheat and corn to maple syrup and ice wine, often at prices that make Pennsylvania farmers weep into their morning coffee. And it's not just the agricultural sector feeling the pinch. Pennsylvania's manufacturing industry, once a powerhouse of American ingenuity, is also facing challenges from Canadian companies. Lower operating costs, a highly skilled workforce, and a government that seems to understand the importance of investing in its own people have all contributed to Canada's rise as a manufacturing force to be reckoned with. The result? Pennsylvania's economy is caught in a pincer movement, squeezed from both sides by Canadian competition. Finally, we arrive in the land of 10,000 lakes, a state known for its friendly people, its stunning natural beauty, and its growing reliance on Canadian healthcare? That's right, folks. Even Minnesota, with its reputation for being the healthiest state in the nation, is finding itself increasingly dependent on its northern neighbor for affordable medical care. You see, Minnesota's healthcare costs, like those in many parts of the U.S., have skyrocketed in recent years, leaving many residents struggling to afford even basic medical care. And that's where Canada comes in, with its universal healthcare system and its significantly lower drug prices. An increasing number of Minnesotans are making the trek north seeking affordable medical treatment and prescription drugs. They're driving across the border, organizing bus trips, even chartering flights to take advantage of Canada's more affordable healthcare system. And it's not just individual patients. Some Minnesota hospitals are even exploring partnerships with Canadian healthcare providers, hoping to find ways to lower costs and improve access to care for their patients. So there you have it. 7 U.S. states, each facing unique challenges but all connected by a common thread, the growing economic might of their northern neighbor. Now, I'm not saying we should all pack our bags and move to Canada, at least not yet, but this trend should serve as a wake-up call. While America's been busy arguing about, well, everything, Canada's been quietly building a more competitive economy, one with affordable health care, a strong social safety net, and a government that seems to understand the importance of investing in its people. The question is, will America learn from its neighbor's success, or will it continue to hemorrhage money, jobs, and maybe even a few disgruntled moose across the border? Only time will tell, and we'll like it.